So Tucker Nathans will stand in, and we are underway at Melbourne Ballpark. And right on cue, Nathans deep into right field. Did he get enough? See ya! I love it when a plan comes together. Tucker Nathans, boy oh boy, can he set a table. A solo shot into right. And after one pitch, the Canberra Cavalry have a 1-0 lead in Melbourne.
No better way to start the game if you're the Canberra Cavalry. Tucker Nathans taking the ball deep to right field.
And what a time. First game of the ABL playoff bracket, and his team have an early 1-0 leader. Samad Taylor now.
There's been a weakness on the Aces pitching staff this year. It's given up those first inning home runs. It feels like it's something that's happening series in and series out for the starting pitchers.
And the 0-2 from Flynn. His ball hit hard, left center field, and this may have the legs. It does. Back-to-back shots for the Cavalry in the top of the first.
Back-to-back home runs. This is them firing on all cylinders early on.
Tip machine. This guy hits for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as our good friend and colleague Shane Bennett would say. There's a base hit up the middle. Past the glove of Jared Dale into center field. 3 have come to the plate, and all 3 have reached here in the top of the first. And he's had a lot of success. Not so far tonight. The first 2 blowing toward right field. You'll see it in this ballpark a lot. Runner is going, and not a clean grab by Romanski behind home plate. That's an easy steal for Reynolds. Stolen base this year. It's tough to do off a lefty. He got a good jump. Nothing Romanski could do when he couldn't properly glove the baseball. Teams that have faced each other 13 times play each other. This one's shot into left field. That'll get down a base hit. It'll score Reynolds with ease. 4 hitters have come to the plate in the first inning against the former big leaguer, and it is 3-0 Canberra earlier today. And Canberra have already played at 3 before a man's been retired in the top of the first inning. This is something else. The 1-0 to Warner is popped straight up into center field. Galen waits forever for the baseball to come down.
3 runs already in this first inning. Matches what Canberra scored in first innings against Melbourne over 13 games in the regulars.
He thinks they're the best offense in the league. Perkins goes the other way. This one will drop in for a base hit. Wilson will go first to third. And the Cavalry just keep doing it. That's the 5th base hit of the inning, the 3rd single. Hits himself another base hit. Good piece of hitting. Goes with a pitch. For much of the season, they weren't able to have a full squad. Big hack, the 1-0. He spoils it away foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. And it wasn't until 2 weeks ago in Lismore, when the border finally opened up, the Cavalry were able to play the Blue Sox. We saw a full-strength Cavalry side. Here's a high pop-up left side of the infield. Who wants it? And Gope will call off George to make the catch. The 1-0. So chopped toward third. A couple of hops to George. Over to first, and that'll do it. In the top half of the first inning, the Cavalry, they send 9 to the plate. 3-0 in the first. Against Jimmy Boyce, young 23-year-old Kiwi right-hander, delivers a first pitch strike to Colin Willis.
Never an easy out.
2-1 from Boyce. Good pitch. Even the count 2-2. Obviously went over, got some time in spring training, but everything was put on hold due to COVID. 2-2. This one's lined into left center field. It'll stay up long enough. No, it won't. Diving play by Reynolds, but a bloop base hit by Colin Willis. It's transformed his 2021 season. Shows how good of a hitter he is. Speaking of good hitters, there's Darryl George. Takes a called strike in the first from Boyce. My friends from the WBSC are listening. I have some ideas for how we should run that qualifiers. This one's lined into right field, and that'll get foul, like Samad Taylor, as did the last chance qualifier, as did the Olympics, and most of everyone else's plans in 2020. Here's a ground ball to second base, and that's up the middle, a base hit. Colin Willis will slam on the brakes at second, but it's back-to-back single.
Bloopers, he always finds a way to get on at the top of the order.
It's not an easy pitch to do anything with either. If you're Jimmy Boyce, you're happy with that pitch on 2-2. Below the knees, he can be effective, but when he falls behind, you start to see those ERA numbers climb and climb and climb. He's coming into today 0-4 with a 7.77 in the regular year. Galen swinging 3-0. He pops it up into right center. Young gloves it, and the runner will not tag. Willis staying put.
That count, but just got underneath it.
Good fielding by Chavez Young as well.
And Delman will be all over that strike when it comes.
Usually doesn't miss those. He hit 400 in the regular year, and there was that flat fastball. just above the belt. Big pitch here for Boyce. Good hitters count, the 2-1. He got another fastball. This will be the 20th pitch of the inning for Boyce. And the 3-2 is crushed into left field and gone. Delman Young takes advantage of the cutout down the left field line and just sneaks it over the fence. We'll call it a 305-foot blast, but it doesn't matter how far they fly. It's tied at 3 apiece in the first. Longest, Nick Batters, but it'll pay the same. 3-3.
Shows up the same in the box score, and that's why you have West Beach. Really shifted the momentum completely in Melbourne's favor.
We'll try and do math live on air. This is going to be dangerous. The next to Tom Shea is a called strike in the outer part of the plate. Trip into the grand final on Sunday. The loser of this will have to back up tomorrow and play for their playoff life. Tom Shea pops this one into center. Young barely has to move. He does shuffle step to his left, makes the catch. Of course, with the chops and changes in the schedule, of course, not an evenly balanced schedule this year. As Gifton Gope takes.
It was impressive because last year's team looked really good.
They were pretty darn good last year. For the team that won the Shield, they'd have to be. 2-1 taken for a called strike.
And it's not like Canberra has a vastly deep bullpen either.
Correct. 3-2 to Ngope. This one's hit high and deep into left field. Will it stay fair? By a mile. 3-2 pitch. Boyce left up, and Ngope knew as soon as he hit it. Saw him do that at Blacktown International Sports Park in 2016 when he was wearing a South Africa jersey. The World Baseball Classic qualifier. Hit that off Travis Blackley. Here he hits one off Jimmy Boyce to give his team.
6 batters in this aces order, so potent.
Chris Burke swinging first pitch, and Chavez Young coming in, but it won't be that deep. It will be Mikey Reynolds who makes the catch. And the inning comes to a close. Well, after Canberra sent 8 to the plate, Melbourne sent 7. They score 4 times. Other former big leaguer in Gifton Gope, homering as well. We've seen 4 bombs in 1 inning.
Actually spent time as a lone player for Auckland last year, so he's been signed to the Aces, but hasn't yet played for the Aces. He played for 2 other teams in this league.
The 1-2 to Young. This one hit towards second base. Jared Dale on to first base in the ABL Championship game on Sunday. This one's lined into right center field off the bat of Tucker Nathans. Homered back in the first. Here a lazy fly ball that's handled by Willis.
He's settled down. This is the Brian Flynn that we saw for so much of the...
4 straight, he's retired. 2 away now in the second inning. Here's Samad Taylor. And a solo shot. Back-to-back with Tucker Nathans back in the first inning. Good fastball that catches the outer edge. Quickly 0-2. So B only his 7th pitch of the inning, and it's swung on and missed. First strikeout of the ball game, and 1-2-3 go the Cavs. He's pitching with a lead. Said to me a couple of weeks ago that we didn't think things could get weirder after 2020. They have in the first couple of months of 21 as Robbie Perkins.
A tough hand of cards this season. Whether it's the players that can't get out.
And oh, by the way, having to play the defending champs 13 straight times. No worries. Young and Tom Shea in the middle of the order 13 consecutive times to begin the season. It's a wonder the Cavalry were able to win 11 games, in all honesty, this season.
For Dale's having a career season.
0-2 to Dale, and he got underneath it. Into center field. Young back toward the track, and there's 2 away. As he hit it. But you, some of these younger guys, the guys that you mentioned, like Chris Burke and Jared Dale, though he's been around for a while.
Batting averages hovering around below 200. Not a lot of run production. That's not the case this year.
Went back to it on the 1-2, swung out and missed, and another good inning. Melbourne.com to learn more. Gracious hosts of this ABL playoff bracket. Second game of day number 1. If you did not join us earlier today, play in the top of the 3rd inning. Mikey Reynolds leading things off. He singled and scored back in the 1st inning. Here he pops this one up to Willis and right. Makes the catch. Swinging first pitch here, Zach Wilson, and he lines one into center field. So more quick work here. A young man who potentially could get the call up to play some second base for Team Australia later this year as the 2-0 pitch is. Hope that Robbie gets well soon, and certainly an injury that's scary in baseball terms, as this one's lined out into right center field. That'll get down and roll to the wall. It one hops the fence. Warner on his way to second base. The throw, well, they made it interesting at the second base bag, but it's a double for Cam Warner.
Magic. Really good piece of hitting here from Cam Warner.
It was an excellent throw-in from parts of 12 different seasons elsewhere in independent baseball. The 2-0, a big hack there from Perkins. I think he was expecting fastball, and he didn't get it. Perkins is having a tough task navigating the flies. The 2-1 is up the middle. They had him played well. Jared Dale near the second base bag. And the inning comes to a close. Flynn pitches around the 2-out double. A lot of heroes to make this ABL playoffs happen, certainly with what Melbourne is going through. And this ball is absolutely crushed. You can forget about it. Darryl George, absolutely crushed. Good grief.
Whew. And he knew it off the bat.
As he often does. Brisbane Bandits series a couple of weekends ago when Darryl George, of course, hit 2 grand slams in the same game. Trying to laugh at the feat of Fernando Tatis, who's hit 2 in the same inning in Major League Baseball. Darryl George said, I'll hit 3 in the same game. And with back-to-back shots from Nathans and Samad Taylor. Galen golfs this one into right field toward the line over to get it as Samad Taylor makes the catch, and there's one away. Anonymous with a lot of home runs. As you get another look at this, Galen just golfing a ball into right field. Doesn't have to do with the dimensions. It's not a heat over the Aces earlier today, and we've already seen 5 homers. High chopper, left side, a long throw across the diamond for Jordan Young, and he retires Delman Young.
Melbourne's the only place in Australia that he could see himself living. He absolutely loves it here.
Get a look at the regular season numbers for Tom Shea, and he hits it hard. Deep left field. See ya! 4th bomb of the night for the Aces. It started the season with his hair on fire, didn't he? 5 big flies in the regular year, has his first postseason home run. These are big flies tonight. As a righty is certainly warming. 3-0. They're on the other side of the outfield fence as Ngope takes ball 4, so he's aboard for the second time tonight.
And he led the league in walks this season, had 19 of them in the regular season.
Another one of those young Australians. Certainly has quite a bit of upside to him. And the 0-2 off speed, runner going, and Ngope swipes it with ease. Swipes 6 bags in 7 attempts in the regular year as a stolen base in the postseason. Easy as you like.
Brian Flynn locking in.
The 1-2 to Burke. Waved out and missed. Strikeout for Jimmy Boyce. His second of the ball game. Boss Motorola leading things off in the top of the 4th against the former big leaguer. He taps one foul off toward the right side. I think there have been several times this year when we weren't quite sure if we would get to this being the finish line, and I'll find some wood to knock on. Season usually spanning 2.5, 3 months. To not have had one this year would have potentially been catastrophic, as the 3-2 is taken low for a ball. Motorola is aboard for the first time tonight.
The ownership group has just been phenomenal. And we've really, and I suppose my role is then to make sure that we deliver. I think what a good product we really have.
Another 1-2 to Young, and he's punched out. A frustrating AB. Just paints one. The inner part of the plate, that's a good pitch. Or a notification goes off. I was in your office yesterday, and Sky News was just playing on repeat. You want to be on top of it in case something happened. Everybody.
Not even anxiety. It's just.
See, nothing in one up the middle. This could be 2, and Ngope steps on the bag on to first, and the inning is over. The increased exposure, obviously internationally, but the exposure that we've seen created domestically, in particular through KO and Fox Sports this year for the Australian Baseball League, has been massive. Still plenty of ways to go in this one as Romanski swings first pitch and fouls one off toward the left side.
It's tremendous exposure to the non-baseball fans as well.
Romanski hits this one high into left field, but the ballpark will hold it this time. Tucker Nathans is back to make the catch, one away.
Obviously, Saturday and Sunday is both a US, Australia, Asia, worldwide times, and that's exciting for the sport and the ABL.
Jared Dale swinging first pitch into center. Young was back. Now he's in, dives, and he can't make the catch. It'll trickle past Jared Dale on his way to third, standing up. And I think you'll find it'll go as a one-out triple for Jared Dale. We'll wait to see how it's scored. But then it was off to the races. Should have been a routine fly ball to center, but I think Young thought it was hit harder than it was. Quickly. This one's crushed into right field. Did he get enough? Taylor is back at the track. Now he'll come in, and he's called off by Chavez Young. And that'll score a run. Cannon in from Young, but it's not enough. Jared Dale trots in from third base.
Is that domestic product we want to be as strong as possible. So this is our marketing arm of the sport.
Darryl George swinging first pitch. Here's the 0-1 to George. And it's tapped towards shortstop. A couple of hops to Mikey Reynolds, and that'll do it. For the Aces in the fourth. Well, Cam, will you hang out for another half inning with us? With 6 teams. This was an 8-team competition for the last couple of years after expansion. The 2-0 is in for a called strike. Now 2-1 on Nathan's. 2-1 on the ground. Over toward first base. Tom Shea will win the race to the bag. One away.
As we know, we talked about the broadcasting, the reach, and groups are popping out everywhere at the moment. To want to be part of, what we're doing in the future. So I think, we've got to take...
1-1 to Samad Taylor is swung on and missed. An ugly wave from the Cavalry right fielder who's been aboard. Talk about the successes that this league has had in his 21 season. As Samad Taylor hits this one into left center field. Has this got the legs? It does. Second big fly of the night for Samad Taylor.
That are obviously here with the MLB clubs and in the future too, the Yokohama Bay Stars who have partnered with Canberra.
What I imagine has probably been one of the toughest years you ever encountered as a sporting administrator. The 3-0 pitch is in for a called strike.
Yeah, and look, like the broadcasting, which leads back to Australian broadcasters, the on-field component and everything we're talking about with these international partners and the professional leagues by one, but there will always be a major tournament on.
3-2 to Reynolds, just gets a piece.
You weren't getting a chance. So you've got to get the balance of these things right, but you can do both.
Off-speed pitch coming on 3-2, and it's waved at and missed. Third strikeout tonight, but a big sweeping curveball to get Reynolds to swing and miss. Zach Wilson swings at the first that he sees. Obviously, you've said time and time again that...
leave it better than when you got it, and you want the next person to do the same thing. So
Wilson lines this one into right field, and it's fair. One hops off the fence. It just stays in play. The throw in from right. Close again as Wilson lollygagging to the second base bag. He and Ngope share a laugh. Cavalry base runners. The 1-0 is swung on and missed. That'll even the count 1 ball and 1 strike. All of us that have worked closely alongside you, that has certainly been the case.
At the hardest year, I've loved the fact that, we've seen so many people galvanise to try and make things happen. Which is just...
Solo shot from Samad Taylor tonight. Second inning of work now for Dean Aldridge, who came on in the 4th inning in relief of Jimmy Boyce. So you get a look at Blake Galen leading things off here in the 5th inning. The 0-1 is hit sharply toward Monroe at first base. And Dean Aldridge has been called upon to keep us a close.
Hitters all around the league fits, but
2-0 to Delman. He goes opposite field and to right, and that'll get down. It's cut off over there by Taylor. Wide turn from Delman Young at first base, but he'll stay put there. 3-1 to Tom Shea. Just missing off the plate outside. There's a walk issued by Aldridge. 2-0 to Ngope. Aldridge just having trouble finding the strike zone here. The 3-0. Fastball. Trent Thomas gives him the benefit of the doubt. 3-1. Talked about it. He played for South Africa in the World Baseball Classic in Sydney, as a matter of fact. The 3-1. Good pitch. 3-2. Missed high and away. Ball 4. And consecutive walks now will load the bases. One of the future stars of Australian baseball, and he swings at the first, spoils it away foul off toward the left side. COVID has necessitated that for many ABL teams. The 1-1. Missed inside. It gets away from Perkins. Young coming and slides in safely. He just continues to show off his athleticism, doesn't he, the big fella? Have a look at it. Never in doubt, was it?
Delman hustling hard.
Slide technique. Gope to second, Tom Shea to third. Here's the 2-1 to Burke. And he hits it hard into center. It'll send Young back. He camps underneath and makes the catch. Tom Shea will tag from third. The throw goes to the shortstop, and it's now 8-9 to 4. Played at 4 in the first, 2 in the third, and now have a 2 spot here in the fifth.
I said, hey, the Cavalry, they scored a run. We need to get a couple of back to keep this
game on Sunday afternoon. It's a 2-0 to Galen. Waved that and missed. 2 balls and a strike.
Gives you a chance to rest the bullpen as well.
It's been 2 weeks since the Perth Heat played a competitive game. There's a bouncing ball to shortstop. Should be the inning. Reynolds tosses on to first. Robbie Perkins leading things off for the Cavalry, and he takes the 1-0. 8 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He has given up the 3 home runs. But important to note that has shown glimpses of it at times this season. As Perkins lines this one into left field, and it's just foul. We're talking 3 hits, 1 earned run on a solo blast in the 5th inning from Samad Taylor. That'd be it.
And a really good pitch right here to the Canberra catcher.
The previous just inside the foul line and left. 1 away, here's Motorola. He swings first pitch and pops it up. And Gope over from shortstop near the foul line. Easy as you like. Well, he's casual out there, isn't he?
Takes a lot of work that doesn't necessarily get seen in the final product to put together the hub model.
Chavez Young swinging 2-0. That one will get foul. 2-1. You may get another opportunity. Now this one will stay in play. A tricky one, though, for Romanski, and he makes the catch. One that he will tell you he should have caught rather easily. Instead, took 5 or 6 steps backwards when 3-2 to Dale, just missing on the outer part of the plate. Huck to has spent a majority of the season with the Canberra Cavalry and playing third base for Canberra tonight.
The 2 of them from the same club here in Melbourne.
In fact, 2 of the 3 games that he played were against the Aces. 3-1 missing high, and it's back-to-back walks to begin the 6th. A couple of runs scored. The first 2 of them, he was trying to make it a 12-4 ball game. The 0-1 off speed follows the fastball and spoiled away foul, nothing in 2. Of course, that being necessitated by what was going on with COVID-19 around the country. There's a base hit into the corner. It'll score at least 1. Dale rounding third. He'll head home. What do they do with Willis? They hold him at third base. It's an RBI double for Darryl George, and his hot streak continues. He's got himself another RBI as he just snuck this one down the line and passed third base into the corner.
Darryl George, he's been really not too shabby.
Not quite what Shane Sasaki was able to do earlier today for Perth. This ball is crushed. Deep into right field. Galen, did he get enough? You bet he did. 3-run bomb into right center, and the Aces just keep on keeping on at Melbourne Ballpark tonight. He was one of the 3 that hadn't reached base. Get a load of this. Not the hardest hit home run you'll see, but he got just enough. And it falls just shy of the scoreboard. Now Delman Young, who's homered, singled, and scored so far tonight, takes a called strike in the outer part of the plate. Score sticks. It'll be the Aces and Perth Heat tomorrow night in prime time here at Melbourne Ballpark. As here's a chopper towards short, deep in the hole, Mikey Reynolds. Plenty of time to make the play. Good pick over there by Monaroa. The chance to the trip to the championship on the line. This one lined into left center field. But the ballpark looks like it'll just hold it. Tucker Nathans, the edge of the warning track, makes the catch. 2 away. Odd, isn't it?
Very odd. Now, fans of both squads would like to see their teams.
It was a fun championship series last year. Of course, the walk-off win that saw Alan D. San Miguel score the winning run here at Melbourne Ballpark. 0-2 0-2 to Ngope. Punched out by Parsons. Jordan, the eldest at 27 years of age. Jeremy, 2 years younger than... As Jordan Young will stand in and face his younger brother, Jeremy Young, the newest arm into the ball game, who will take over for Brian Flynn.
A few weeks, Jeremy was one of those key arms out of the Canberra Cavalry bullpen.
2-1, spoiled away foul, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The right-handed throwing younger brother Jeremy. Payoff pitch. Ball high, and older brother gets the bragging rights. He looks at, after a 3-run spot from the Cavalry in the first inning, he was lights out. He ends in a relief role if needed. Ace's bullpen that's been somewhat depleted as Nathan swings and misses. Now 0-2. 5 different occasions this year, Young has gone multiple innings. Here's a fly ball into center. Galen back near the edge of the track makes the catch. As it is probably the most complete team. They did lose Sean Muramondo, but when you talk about the losses that the Aces, the argument can probably be made that Canberra come in as the most complete squad in the ABL playoffs. Doesn't help them when they're trailing 13-4 in the 7th inning. Come back for the final 2 weeks, and now the postseason. Big swing there from Taylor, 1-2. Ability to send players down and get at bats when there's really nowhere else in the world they can do it right now. 2-2, good pitch.
Philadelphia sending a lot to Adelaide.
Mikey Reynolds swinging first pitch. Spoils one away foul. And every problem has a silver lining, and that is that blossom into something special down the track. By all accounts, those 2 guys have really enjoyed their time in Australia. Runner going, the throw down, in time, got him. Heat, who won the first semifinal earlier today. Those 2 would play in the qualifying final tomorrow if scores stay the way they are. Here, Dale leading off, and he grounds it to second base. Cam Warner on to first, 1 gone. Burke, Romansky, and Dale, 7, 8, and 9 in the order. Easy ground ball for Warner. Nothing doing, and there's 1. 0 for 3. Here he pops it up again. Standing atop the second base bag, Cam Warner makes the catch, and there's 2 away. Mates have certainly picked him up. He's done a lot of this tonight. Just soft contact, getting under pitches. See the frustration on his face as he heads to first.
And that's been a lot of this season.
In a Melbourne Aces jersey. Might not get it tonight. Here's a slow bouncer towards third. Tough play. Young can't make it. And Jared Dale has an infield single. So here's Colin Willis sitting for the 5th time tonight. He takes a called strike. Here, Colin Willis. After having an incredible ABL regular season. The 0-2. Skied into left, taking Nathan's back to the track wall, gone. Couple of RBIs as well, and it's 15-4. Opposite field shot from the leadoff man, Colin Willis.
Ace is showing power to all parts of the field today.
Make sure it's away, young man. One hung up, nowhere near where Robbie Perkins wanted it. Daryl George slaps it into left field. Blake Galen, 1 for 4 tonight, had that 3-run home run last. Could you slip up on day 2? The 0-1 is spoiled away foul, 0-2. Looks as though the Aces opening weekend. Well, that feels like years ago, doesn't it? 0-2 to Galen is waved at and missed. And Kyle Cross ends the inning with a strikeout. Swung and fouled the first offering from Jeremy Young away and stares at strike 2. It's quickly no balls and 2 strikes. Promptly thrown out by Jake Romansky. Here's the 0-2 to Reynolds. Spoils it away foul. We'll do it again 0-2. Will be a couple of blowout games that we've seen in the first day of the ABL Finals. This one's hit up the middle. That's where Gifton Ngope lives. Second time that he's made a really good play on the run near the second base bag.
Of end of season awards, whether it's to Brian Flynn or Anderson, he has to be in the conversation for his 2nd defensive player of the year, right?
Canberra led 3-0 after the top half of the first. Awkward swing there from Melbourne. Answered with 4 of their own in the first inning and have led ever since. In fact, they scored 7 unanswered at one point. The 4th Cavalry run came on Samad Taylor's 2nd solo home run of the game. So swing and a miss from Wilson. That low 3-quarter delivery from Young and a Two away, here's Cam Warner, who is flied out, doubled, and struck out tonight. 1-0 on the ground to right, and he finds a hole. Or somewhat the same, ending in a Melbourne Aces victory. Robbie Perkins, they have only 4 outs to work with. Make it 3. Called third strike. Today, 2 more tomorrow as you get a look at James Albury, who will come on in relief of Kyle Cross, the 4th arm out of the pen. In all likelihood, will be the final frame that the Cavalry will have to pitch tonight. And Albury is greeted, surprise, surprise, at a base hit by Delman Young, a single up the middle to begin the 8th. Over the top of one, didn't he?
Got it the next morning, though.
He did. He got a grand slam on the next day.
For that weekend.
Now you sound like a broken record. Get off my back. This ball launched into left field. Get out in a hurry. Dave McTomshay, second bomb of the night. This one did not take long to get out of the ballpark.
Got quick swing from Dave McTomshay. That is one of the fastest home runs I've...
Usually not a thing we say after a game at Melbourne Ballpark. 2-0, hit hard on the ground toward third. Backing up Young, a long throw, and it's up the line. And Gope will advance down to second base with relative ease. It was always going to be a tough play for Young, as he was. It was always going to be a tough play. But they do rule it an error, be a 2-base error. Again, stop me if you've heard this before.
Welcome to Melbourne weather.
0-1 lofted into left field. Nathan's on the run, and he slides and makes the catch. And he takes a called strike in the outer part of the plate. He might be trying too hard for it. The 1-1 is swung out and missed. A ball and 2 strikes. Last thing we need is precipitation. 2-2, hit hard, left field, and see ya. We'll call you Nick Stradamus, I think.
How about that? And he took a pitch low and inside. That's not usually a pitch that's easy to hit out from.
Pulled his 9-iron out of the bag, didn't he? Still hit that ball pretty far. It is raining home runs tonight, and now it is baseball's caught up in the atmosphere.
The weather was getting jealous.
The sky's getting angry. 1-1 is spoiled away foul. 1-2, waved at and missed. Strikeout for Cross. A rare lone tally in the 4th inning for the Aces. This one's spoiled away foul. Every other inning, the Aces have played it a run. Nothing in 1, spoiled away foul. Now 0-2.
Delman Young was looking pretty comfortable there in the dugout.
Knife's edge tomorrow afternoon against the Adelaide Giants. Nothing in 2, pops straight up. The rain falling, Monaroa coming in. Who wants it? It's Reynolds, the shortstop. Snow cones it and makes the catch. And he lines one past the shortstop in Gope. Wouldn't you know it? And here's the 23-year-old lefty, Chavez Young. He takes a hack, swings and misses.
So when I was in the Appalachian League a couple of years ago, there were a couple of players that played there from the Bahamas in that league. So I know the Eagles are great too.
Maybe that could be your homework for tonight. 1-1, waved at and missed. Ball in the 0-2 rather, and it's swung on a miss. Strike 3. The answer is 8. World's top cricket teams, particularly in the short form of the game, that being T20 or 1 days, depleted, at least on their bench. Putting them on the active roster. The rain just starts to fall a little bit heavier as this one's waved at and missed. And Lee Mills is down on strikes. Back-to-back Ks now for Jeremy Young. Your final out of the night. Good hook for the right-hander. And it looks like Jeremy Young, talked about earlier in the broadcast, might mean that you can't necessarily use Young to be able to get through game 1, get to the opportunity to have a double chance, maybe in the 9th. 1-2, chop to the right side, and this should do it. Tomshay takes it to the bag himself, and the Melbourne Aces, the season's minor premiers, put on an absolute clinic.